All right, what's good, folks? It's your man Jay Ross. I would like to welcome y'all to episode 4 of Weekly Views. And today I got a special guest, man. One of the dopest lyricists I done heard to come out of the city, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers out there, man.
Yes, sir, man. I go by the name of LARON motherfucking Bryson, man. LARON BRYSON, man.
Running the bass, I'm out running and back in the kitchen. I'm cooking some other shit. I was just stacking up cash from another shift, thinking about hundreds and hundreds. I'm running till I get a couple zeros. Acting real funny, she laughing. The caddy was empty. I told her hop out and get gone. Right back to work and we running it.
I appreciate y'all.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate having you on the platform.
Sir.
Today,
Thank you,
man.
my boy.
Let's go get good. So I want to know, man. Let's just talk about your life growing up as a kid.
Bro, I grew up in a military household, a mixed household. You know what I'm saying? So my dad got stationed here in San Antonio when I was younger, and growing up, like, music was always incorporated in my life. And I listened to that. So Monday through Saturday, it was hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It was R&B, and then Sunday I couldn't listen to no music with cuss words, so it was soul music, you know what I'm saying? It's Marvin Gaye, it was the Isley Brothers. So, like, for me, music always been incorporated in my life, and my life growing up was really based around music because my parents met because of Wu-Tang. So my dad, he was from Virginia, he was from the East Coast. My mom was from El Paso, like Amarillo and everything in Texas. She was born out there. And my mom loved a lot of Southern music, you know what I'm saying, like Devin the Dude and Outkast and UGK and all that shit. And my dad was more like East Coast, so he was listening to Biggie, he was listening to Big L, he was listening to Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest. And both my mom and my dad loved Wu-Tang a lot, and that's how they met. And then after that, that's, you know, they came together, and that's how music was like cemented in my life.
You got some wonderful parents, man. You got good taste in music.
I'm blessed, bro. My mom's the strongest woman I know, and she inspires me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Women inspire me the most because we wouldn't be here without them. So,
hey, man, shout out to your parents one time.
Appreciate that.
Now,
shout out them.
Take us to that time where you remember you first discovered hip hop. What was that like?
It's hard to put it on one artist that I first heard, but I could, you know what I'm saying, I could say a couple that really inspired me when I was younger, and taking it before, like, I had my own really, like, music taste. It was my parents' music taste because I didn't have a phone, I didn't have access, so I was listening to what my parents was listening to, and that's how it shaped what I listened to. So I wouldn't say, like, there was a certain rapper that really got me because there was so many that really locked me in, you know what I'm saying, that I was like, this is amazing. Like Method Man. Method Man was one of my favorite spitters. I thought he was the craziest when I was younger. Like, I wanted to spit just like Meth. And being seeing what that was, and like Big L, you know what I'm saying, a lyricist, like, you've never heard somebody like that spit, and the shit that he was talking about, I was so caught up and fascinated with boom bap and fascinated with, like, the roots of hip hop and the way that he incorporated his wordplay and how he came from and how he put on for a city. Because back in the day, that's how it was. Like, you used to represent your city or the East Coast, and they had that East Coast versus West Coast battle. So, like, you had to pick a side. And for me, because my dad was from the East Coast, that's what I heard. So, like, I had, like, definitely formed an opinion more towards the East Coast side of music that really locked me in. But I think when I was 10, I heard Frank Ocean. That's what really changed it all for me, like, that I wanted to make my own music.
You got some good musical taste, good musical background, man. Now, I got to ask, though, like, when did you feel confident knowing that, all right, this is what I want to do? I want to rap.
Man, in the beginning, because I've always been a creative mind, and I've loved music. Like, on top of that, I love fashion. You know what I'm saying? There's all forms of creativity that I love the most. And when I was younger, I didn't know I could go to school for music. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, like, when I was coming up, I started recording myself when I was 13. And there was this kid's name's The Medic. He's from Toronto, Canada. And I remember one night I was on Instagram just scrolling around, like 7th grade, 6th grade, just like, man, I really want to do this shit. And I reached out to him and was like, hey, like, how do I get started? How do I get this music going? Like, how do I get this shit up? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I do what I got to do? And, like, I hit him at 1 a.m. not thinking he was going to hit me back. And he hit me back just like, hey, bro, like, get a shitty mic, $10 mic, get Audacity, start reading poetry, write all the time, even if it's not, listen to a beat, write that poetry and really analyze the game. And from there, like, he gave me a torch and I figured out how to light it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if you can relate, but when you make your own art and you do it yourself, nobody can take that away from you. That pride of creating something of your own that nobody else helped you make and you got that shit off on you. That's how I knew that this is what I want to do moving forward. So, like, it wasn't until my freshman year that I learned I can go to school for music. And then that's when I was like, all right, bet, like, I'm going to make my mama proud and go to school and say that, hey, I did this for my mom, but at the same time, I'm going to push on my entrepreneurial mindset and be a business owner and, you know what I'm saying, push the music and push level on shit that I've never seen being a mogul. You know what I'm saying? Not just in music, but in fashion and other forms of creativity, because for me, that's who I am.
Man, that's deep. That's all deep. Now, I got to ask you, I want to, go another route, though. Was your race ever an issue with you coming up trying to rap?
For other people, yeah. Never for me.
And, what were some of the negative feedback that you were hearing?
Like I said, man, because I come from a mixed household, so for me, it was just like growing up in a mixed household. I was raised around black men. I was named after a black man, and being lighter complexion, it affected me mentally because I was always the lighter complexion person out of everybody, all my cousins, my family, all of that. So to me, it was just like, it always felt like there was a little difference, but at the same time, like I got more love from people that didn't look like me. You know what I'm saying? It was more white people that hated on me than black people or Latinos or anything like that. Like a lot of those people showed me love and they knew where I came from, so it wasn't a problem. It was always other people just trying to hate on me. But I mean, when you grow up, like growing up in San Antonio, like there's a lot of stigma against certain people. And growing up in Converse, like, I mean, that's all it was. Like going to Metzger, going to Judson, like, of course I'm gonna be the lighter complexion. It's more black people, more Latino people. So like obviously I stick out, but at the same time, like I never folded who I was and changed who I was for anybody. You know what I mean? I've always been 100% myself. So like some of the shit I used to just get was just people just shitting on me because of my complexion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times like it was just people getting mad that they couldn't do what I was doing. And because I look how I am and the way I hold myself, the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I do everything I do, they had a problem with it. But I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to me is that, my brothers know who I am. They know where my family is. They know what it is. So at the end of the day, I learned my freshman year, I got to stop trying to seek validation and love from people that never cared about me in the first place. Because it don't matter. I'm not going to sit here and talk about all this shit because to me, at the end of the day, fuck your race. It don't matter what skin color you are, where you come from. Can you rap? Do you care about the culture? Do you care about music? Is your education right? What do you know about music? You know what I'm saying? How do you hold yourself? When you talk about music, can you talk on the same level as me? You know what I'm saying? Can you break this shit down? Can you just say, hey, I love music for this, not because I want amenities, bitches, clothes, fame, jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Like shit that's easy and obtainable that we can all get, but we can lose at the same time. And when you really love this music shit, that shit never goes away. When you're a creative, when you're an artist, that shit never goes away. When you at that 9 to 5 and you sitting there, you thinking about the next video. When you at that 9 to 5, you sitting there thinking about the next song, thinking about engineering the next shit. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I knew I loved what I was doing, and I never let anybody discourage me because of how I look, because I knew where I came from. I knew my love, and truly I do love the game and love what I'm doing. And it's not from a perspective of like, oh, I'm trying to take the culture. It's not. I'm trying to build it. You know what I'm saying? I push real music. I don't push bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you really love what you're doing, I support people for their mentality and their mindset, not for what I can gain a benefit off of them. You know what I'm saying? There's two different things. And I feel like when it comes to people, they get insecure because they see what I'm doing and they can't do it.
Now, what are your thoughts on the whole saying that, white rappers are guests in hip hop?
100%. Because, I mean, when you break it down, like, black culture has influenced America in general, even though that it's not spoken on. Rock, country music, a lot of that shit, jazz, things that I love the most is black culture. It's made by strong, independent black men and women. And a lot of times, and I've come across them, there's a lot of white people that take that shit. They don't live that life. They don't live what the black struggle is, and they don't understand what that comes with it and the ignorance that comes with it. And they want to act like this. They want to take coach. They want to do this, and this, X, Y, Z. But when it comes down to it, when it comes to really dealing with shit, they ain't there.
So would you consider somebody like Eminem a guest, or you feel like he's a resident of hip hop?
I wouldn't say he's a guest because his Eminem was one of the few that really changed shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul Wall. Paul Wall is a resident, in my opinion. When you think about Houston, you think about Screw, think about Paul Wall, think about all these legends that came from H-Town, and I don't think anybody's ever had a problem with Paul Wall. I've never been like, damn, like Paul Wall a guest. He ain't. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's certain people, and it just comes with education. There's a lot of other rappers that I talk to are people that are light complexion, are the same as me, and you know what I'm saying? They're in this shit for the wrong reasons, and they really don't care about the culture. And I think that's what it is, because people try to take, especially white folk. They take. I mean, that's been going on for years. You know what I mean? So I think that it all depends on education and how they hold themselves and what they're really in this for. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get up here and start saying a bunch of crazy shit, start acting crazy, or throwing the N-word around, because that's not how it is. It's not how it works. You know what I mean? That's not who I am. But there's certain people that just be on bullshit, bro. So I think that white rappers are a guest, but when you meet the realest rappers like Eminem or Paul Wall, I think they're residents. I think they're a staple in the game.
Do you ever get frustrated when people compare you to quote unquote white rappers? Like I've seen people compare you to Jack Harlow. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with
all
that?
the time, bro? I think comparisons are the death of people. I try not to compare myself to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't be Jack Harlow as much as Jack Harlow wants to be me. At the end of the day, my art, my sound, who I am as a person is completely different. You're just comparing me because of my complexion, not because of who I am as a person. You know what I mean? We had the same curly hair, we had the same skin color, and you put me in that same category. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, I kind of like, I just continue to pop my own shit, continue to make my own wave, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are like, oh, but that's good though, why don't you play into it? I don't need to. I'm LARON Bryson. I'm the first LARON Bryson. I'm not second to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be nobody else. I'm not trying to act like nobody else. I'm going to be myself 100% of the time to the fucking end, whether you like that or not. If you don't like who I am, that's cool. Don't listen to my music. That's fine.
Man, I want to get into your name, the importance of LARON. You were named after your uncle, I believe?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
My Uncle Domo, he passed away. He basically drunk himself to death. And at the time, I was playing basketball for Judson my freshman year. And I was locked in. And I really wanted to be on 18. Before music, I was like, I thought I was going to the fucking league. I was delusional. But, anybody, when you're going for the dream, it doesn't seem like that. I was working every day. I was getting my shots up and really locking in. And his funeral came around, and it hit my dad like a truck. That was his best friend. You know what I'm saying? That was his brother. You know what I'm saying? And it hit my mom, too, because he was a really big part of my mom's life, my dad's life, and my life. And instead of going to that funeral, I was like, I really want to be on basketball. I'm really serious about this. And I stayed back and I didn't go to the funeral. And like mentally wise, I felt like I always made the wrong decision about that. And I was really mentally just in this pit. So that same day that I came back from school, I actually got into this little altercation because I was upset with one of my brothers and I didn't mean to. I was just in like a bad space. And that same day I came home and really was just like, yo, like, today, moving forward, I'm going to change my name to LARON. And I wanted to bring positives to that name, not a sad, crying feeling, you know what I'm saying, because my uncle passed, but like, hey, look what I did for my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Look what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Look what I've accomplished with this name, and it's only positive. So when my dad talks about LARON Bryson, it's not something that he's sad about. It's something he's proud of. You know what I'm saying? It's something that my family's proud of, something that I'm proud of. It's a name that, I'm going to hold with me for the rest of my life because it impacted me a lot. And it means more than just an artist name. Like, that's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm LARON. I'm LARON Bryson.
Yeah, condolences.
I appreciate that. Rest in paradise.
Let's talk about your uncle's influence on you, though.
When I was younger, I just remember him just being real. Like, and what sucks, too, is that when I got older, I really didn't, my relationship with him wasn't the same because we live in other places. So when I was younger, I used to be over there. And I just remember, like, when shit was going crazy in my life, like, my mom would bring me over there and he'd hold shit down. You know what I'm saying? And he I don't know. It felt like the right move for me. And there's parts of me that wish that I did keep that relationship alive there because you don't value shit till it's gone. And, I got older, though, so it's like I got busy and I wasn't in tune with that, but he's done a lot for me and my family. It's really bigger than just me, to be honest.
Man, you got me blown away with all. Man.
I appreciate that, bro.
Man, now let's talk about your discography a little bit, man. Talk about the track 17.
Man, I wrote that when I was 17. I'm 19 right now, so I wrote that 2 years ago. And 17 was one of those songs. I actually wrote that song for myself because I talk about suicide and I talk about almost killing myself and being on the verge and taking my own life. And 17 was a song that I wrote not for anybody else, but for me when mentally I struggle. I have ADHD. My dad's bipolar, and I struggle with the same thing as well. So mentally, there's days when I feel like I'm great, and then there's days when I'm not. You know what I mean? And I felt like at that point in time in my life, I was really going through it, and I tried to, like I said, I tried to kill myself, and it didn't work. I chickened out, thank God. But I wrote that song for myself when I needed it. In times that I wanted to do that shit again, I play that song for me and put it in perspective. You know what I mean? That, hey, like, I'm 17. Like, I got so much life to live. Even though that I've gone through so much as a man, so much as a person. You know what I'm saying? That everybody in this room, my brothers really know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, if I told you everything in my life, you'd be like, damn, like, it makes sense from what you came from and what you've had to struggle through that, you know what I'm saying? You are where you are now. And mentally wise, everything bad and negative that's happened to me has put me in this position now. And how fucked up it is, I wouldn't change any of that shit being done to me. I do it twice forward for me to get even more wiser, have more knowledge to what I'm doing. And 17 was that song for me. Just basically telling myself to keep going in the days where I didn't want to no more.
Man, and I've seen you on social media talk about, you know, mental health and in your day-to-day battles. How does that affect you when it comes to you doing music or anything like that?
It affects everything, bro. You know what I mean? Like, not just music, but life in general. When there's a difference between having mental health and living with mental health. I live with mental health. It's not something I just have. It doesn't go away. It's always in my life. Always been since I was 11. I think back now, and I when I was 11, I used to question what the point of life was. You know what I'm saying? And that shit that I was like, damn, like, that was a depressive phase. That was my ADHD. You know what I'm saying? And talking to my doctor and talking about how that affects me and realizing that sometimes it don't even take anything to happen for me to be depressed or me be in a phase because my mental health is playing it. And it's like, it's kind of my superpower in that sense because like Ye, like, he's bipolar in that sense. And when I was on medication, I didn't feel like me. I didn't have that same creative prowess. Like, the way my mind works is completely different than how other people's brains work. And it gets hard and it gets tough. But I feel like the importance of mental health isn't talked on, especially between men and in our community, that we don't speak on our feelings. And growing up in a household like, oh, I don't want to hear you cry. I don't want to hear that bullshit. That's not what a man does. A man doesn't cry. And I think that's bullshit. I think that all the strongest men in my life have shed tears because they are proud of who they are and they're confident who they are and they love who they are and they're able to express themselves. To me, that's a real fucking man. You know what I'm saying? A real man is able to express himself and get business done and support his women, support his kids, be that foundation that needs to be there, because mental health is just one of those things that not just men, but everybody in general don't speak on until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? That's why people like Mac Miller, you know what I'm saying, pass away, and now he's a legend because he passed away. There's people that pass away from mental illness and it's not spoken on, or they don't understand the effect, like Capital Steez, you know what I'm saying? Legend, jumped off a building. He was crazy with the pen, but no matter what you did for him, that mental health doesn't go away no matter how many people you're surrounded by. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what happens. It's that battle between you versus you. And us men, we don't speak on shit like that. And I'm not scared to speak on that. I'm not afraid to. You can take it as weakness. You can take it as you want. But, like, to me, I'm confident who I am as a person. And I can confidently stand here and be like, hey, I'm willing to talk about my feelings as a man and break that shit down, because that makes me even more of a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's a stigma that I want to break. And me doing that interview about mental health is extremely important to me, because it's speaking on topics and paving a way for something that people don't normally speak on. I don't know anybody else in San Antonio that is speaking on that shit on a daily basis or speaking on it in general that, you know what I'm saying, is really popping his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, on a man-to-man, on a person-to-person, like, we have to talk about what's going on in us, because if we don't, what's going to happen, and what happens to me, is that we cope in ways that are not healthy, and we go to sex, we go to drugs, we go to alcohol, we go to whatever it is, food, anything of too much. Like, something of too much to something is addiction. It can be, once you have more than you need, that's an addiction. It doesn't have to be something that's bad, but it could be food. And that's why we put it behind something. We don't talk about our feelings, because it's not the man way. You know what I'm saying? It's not what a man does. A man doesn't talk about his feelings. And growing up, that's what I heard. Like, that's what I was told, like, from my dad to my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would never speak on how they feel, and they just felt like, oh, because I'm a man, I can't let you see the side of me, or you're going to look at me differently. And my mom didn't raise me like that. You know what I'm saying? My mom, there was a point in life where my dad wasn't there, and my mom was my dad. You know what I mean? And the reason that I am where I am is because my mom raised me to be a man, to speak about my feelings and not play into that shit. When I was growing up, I felt like people would never know how I was feeling, because I got so good to the point where I'd be at the lowest point of my life and still put a smile on my face. You know what I mean? And that's a skill that you learn when you struggle with it, and you feel like you're not comfortable to talk about that shit.
Man, I appreciate you even, just speaking on that, because you're right. Us as men, even myself, behind the scenes, I struggle with stuff, and you're right, it does lead to addictions. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to speak of. So I think us as men in general, we do need to speak up about what's bothering us.
No, we have to.
And I appreciate you being one of the spokesmen for it, because not a lot of people are even brave enough or bold enough to go into the man. So man, I appreciate you, though, man, for real, man. Much love onto that, man. Now I want to talk about you coming up in the San Antonio scene, man. How'd you get started out here?
So I started off just recording myself in 7th grade, and my cousin, actually, when I was first coming up, he was the one I used to play him on my music, and I used to drop all this shit on SoundCloud all the time. And I was just like, yo, like, listen to this shit, what you think? And he was like, I ain't gonna hold you, like, this shit ain't it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it hurts, but it's needed, because I don't need yes men in my life. You know what I'm saying? I need people that's gonna get me better. So from there, like, I really just kept locking in and kept working on what I was doing and investing in myself coming up in the San Antonio scene. Like, when I was in middle school, it felt like there was really nobody else doing what I was doing. Like, in my school, there was nobody doing it to the level that I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like people in San Antonio weren't on that same mentality that I had of world domination, you know what I'm saying, and taking it to that next level, not just on a music form, but bigger than just me, you know what I'm saying? And when I was coming up, like, I put the work in and worked my ass off, you know what I'm saying? I put the hours in, and there's a lot of people that say they do, but they really don't. I taught myself how to produce, I taught myself how to engineer, I taught myself how to sing, I taught myself how to rap. I did all of that shit. And I was locked in the studio every single day. There was times I was in that bitch till 4 in the morning, till 7, 8 a.m., you know what I'm saying, just locking in. When I didn't have a time schedule, I would sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, going out with homies or doing this because I really loved what I was doing. And coming up, like, I felt like there was really nobody else telling me. My parents weren't funding my shit. My parents weren't telling me to get in the studio. I had to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to do 100% of everything to get where I am now. I didn't just get here because I wasn't putting in the work. I was working every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? I was recording every day. I was writing every day. I was watching YouTube videos every day. How do I get better? How do I learn this? How do I grow? How to become a better artist overall? And like I said, I continued just working my ass off to get where it was, and then I was doing the freestyles every single week, and that's when I really started getting more traction, was when I was doing those, because I was putting out music, and I put out a project called Watch Why You Can or Don't, and it did cool. I had the song 3 for 3. People was fucking with it outside of the city. I had more people fucking with me outside of San Antonio and outside of Texas than I was in anywhere else, so it was weird for that, but I felt like because there's not really a top dog in this scene, you know what I'm saying, there's people, you know, there's some few people that are up there. I felt like it was actually great that I was coming up in San Antonio, because it's not like we in New York, we're not in LA where, you know what I'm saying, the legends have walked these streets, people have walked these streets and done shit that you can't even imagine, so you had this pressure on you. I felt like, like, the crown's for the taking, like, I could take that shit, I can be the face of San Antonio, I could be on top of there, you know what I'm saying, and from there, I didn't see it as a disadvantage but an advantage to set the tone of everything in the tone. You know what I mean? So like, that's how, for me coming up, that's how it was, bro.
I want to ask you, how do you not get caught up in the mindset of, you know, I'm trying to take over the city? Because a lot of times I see a lot of up and coming artists in the city, they're too focused on San Antonio. You know, their goal is to perform at the club every Friday night, every Saturday night. You see them there. They complain about the support they're not getting from the city. I don't see that from you.
I put it in a song recently. I said, fuck, I care about being king of the city, bro. World domination. That's what I think. Like, I don't care about being the king of the city. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? You could be the king of San Antonio, but when I went to New York, these motherfuckers ain't heard of your ass. They ain't heard nothing. They don't give a fuck about you. Why am I going to try to be the king of one market area when I can be the market of the whole world? You know what I'm saying? I'm not just thinking on a simple spot. It's like, hey, San Antonio is the only spot that I can market and push myself. There's people outside of San Antonio. I get more love from people outside of Texas than I do here. You know what I mean? So like, I noticed that in the beginning. I was like, what do I care about trying to be a king of the city when I could just be the king of everything else? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you going to know where I'm from. You going to know I'm from Texas. I wear this shit on my ring. I represent it. You know what I'm saying? I represent the two. That's where I come from. This is home. This is family. I'm planning on being a mogul. I don't plan on being the king of San Antonio. I want to be the king of the world. I'm worried about a broader scale than just what's here right now. You know what I mean?
What do you think is some of the things that's separating you from, you know, your rap peers out here in the city?
Oh man, You know, it's my mindset, 100%, my work ethic, the way I get shit done. The way that I've gotten here is because I really love the music. I'm gonna be real with you, I can't really, when I talk to people, I'm like, so you produce? Ah, nah. You engineer? Nah. So what you do? You just making the music? You're not fully hands-on like me, you know what I'm saying? I engineer everything, I produce everything, I'm locked the fuck in. I taught myself how to do all of that, you know what I'm saying? So like, I had to separate myself through my mindset, and because it's, at the end of the day too, it's not just music, bro, it's who I am as a person. You gotta buy into me because I'm not a commodity, you know what I'm saying? Rappers are not a commodity. What I do, I'm not water, I'm not food, I'm not something you need, I'm something you want. So I gotta be something that is relatable. Oh, I listen to his music because I fuck with him. Oh, I listen to this because this shit is hard. You know what I'm saying? There's other aspects of why I do what I do, because you gotta have that it factor. Why should you come to my shows? Why should you listen to me? Why should you play my music? Why should you buy my merch? Why should you do what you do on a normal basis to support me as an artist when you get your hard-earned money and can put it somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? People supporting me could be doing some completely other shit. You can be listening to Drake, you could be doing this, but you supported me because I have an it factor. I have a reason that you want to listen to me. You want to buy into me because I have something you relate to, something that you can be like, hey, like I really fuck with this kid because X, Y, and Z. And it's not just one thing. Show me a reason why I should give my time to you, because we can get money all day, we can get everything that we want, but we can't get time back. When you fuck with me, you know what I'm saying, you're getting your time's worth because I'm giving you the authentic version of me. I'm not on no bullshit. I don't fake who I am. I don't do none of that. I'm 100% me 24/7. And if you don't like that, that's cool. That's all right. I got no hate towards you. I don't like spreading hate to people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like spreading negativity to people that ain't even worth my time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do my shit. If you don't fuck with me, that's cool. I hope you the best. I hope that you doing your thing. But I'm eating over here. You know what I'm saying? We got motion over here. We breaking bread on this side of town, so I don't know what to tell you.
I want to go into the fashion thing, man. Every time I see you, man, on the IG, man, you're looking crispy.
Yep.
You look like an artist. If I see you, you look like a rapper. And let's talk about the importance of an image.
An image is everything, man, because if you don't have an image, like who's the person behind the music, like we were talking about earlier, like why should I fuck with this person? You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like, fashion and music go hand in hand. Film and music go hand in hand. The visual aspect of music is probably the most important part. I'm gonna be real with you. Because when you break down covers, you break down music videos, you break down all of that shit, when you're rolling this out, well, how does it look? How presentable are you? You know what I'm saying? Do you look like, damn, like, this shit's crazy? You just like, oh, like, it is what it is. But for me, like, my mom went to school, she got a degree in fashion. And growing up, like, fashion was a big part of my life. It was something that I took a lot of pride in, something that I cared about. I cared about, you know, what I was wearing, what garments I had on, you know what I'm saying? And then when I got a little older, like, I got into fashion shows. I got into designing shit, like A$AP Rocky. That's one of the biggest inspirations for this fashion shit when I first came up. One of my biggest inspirations in music and fashion. Like, I was like, damn, like, he's fly as hell. He's talking this shit, and he has this sound that I haven't heard from nobody. And I incorporated that into my own. Like, that's really what you do as an artist. Like, you take from your inspirations, and it's the saying that, like, good artists take and great artists steal. You know what I'm saying? All of my inspiration, I've stolen from them and made it my own, and that's the reason why I am now. And I have my own style, my own steez, my own way that I hold myself. And, you know, if I'm not fly, what am I doing? You got to be fly.
Now, we cannot do this interview and not talk about the New York trip. Having a billboard, first of all, in Times Square.
Yes, sir.
Man, not in your city.
Yes, sir.
But let's talk about what was the inspiration behind that trip.
In the birth of hip-hop.
In the birth.
The birth of hip-hop.
The Mecca.
The Mecca, man, it was surreal. Like, going out to New York, that changed my perspective on life, like on music, on everything. I went out there because when you from San Antonio, you from Texas, you're so used to this way of life. You need cars to get around the whole city. You need this and that, XYZ. New York, like, past what you just see online in movies and TV shows, like, it's a different pace. Like, you were on go. You know what I'm saying? It costs so much money so much more money to live there, so you got to make that much money back just to be up. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has their own life. Like, you walk down the street in New York, and that person is completely had their own style and they're confident as shit. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love the diversity out there. I loved how fast paced everything was, and the hospitality was probably the greatest thing about New York to me. Everybody from out there was like, yo, we fucking with Texas. We fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just having conversations with people and really just getting that perspective that I've never had. And then getting that billboard, I was able to do it with my brother. You know what I'm saying? And bringing the people I care about, eating with the people I starve with is what I'm about. That's who I am as a person. Like, you see I got all my brothers here. You see I got my dog, my mentors here. So it's like, when I really fuck with you, I'm going to bring you with, and I'm going to make sure that we eating together, because these are the people that was with me when I was down. So when I got that billboard, it was bigger than just me. It was like, hey, like, we did this shit. Like, I sent that shit to my mom, and that it was great for my mom, my dad. You know what I'm saying? Seeing my face, seeing my name on a billboard, seeing LARON on a billboard, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my uncle was proud on that one. And it was bigger. It wasn't like a music shit. It was a bigger than life moment for me, because I was like, I really put a lot of fucking time to get here. And it really affected me. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, I just felt like crying, because I was like, fuck, like, I've sacrificed so much to get here. And I'm at this point, and I'm still not where I want to be at yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always gonna want more, no matter what I'm doing. Like, I'm always looking to level up and elevate what I do as an artist. You know what I mean? Because if you're comfortable, you're stagnant.
Facts.
And I want to make sure I'm never comfortable, that I'm constantly pushing the barrier of what I can do as an artist, but what I can do as a person. What can I do for the city? What can I do for myself? What can I do for my brothers, my parents? You know what I'm saying? My gang, the people that I'm here for, the people that have really held me down in times where I ain't had shit. You know what I mean? So, like, that's really what it's all about. And that New York moment, that billboard was bigger than just that. We getting another one, bigger than that. We going for the middle part. You know what I'm saying? We going for a bigger billboard next time. So it's just a stepping stone, man.
I ain't gonna lie. When I seen that, I felt proud. You know. Yeah. It's just me blogging coming up and seeing artists, and you're actually driven.
Yeah.
I don't even gotta talk to you to know that I see the vision. I see everything. You're hungry.
10,000,000%.
You putting, you know what I'm saying? You putting in the hours in the gym.
You have to, bro. Like, people always want to be Kobe, but don't want to know what he did to be Kobe. Like, I really I don't just practice what I preach. I do it. I got tired of talking and trying to tell people. I just do that shit. Because so many people, they say more than they do. And that's just a fact. And then when I'm in that conversation, when I'm in the studio with you, or if I'm working with you, I can tell who really works and who really doesn't. You can just tell. Because there's a certain time that you get in that studio, you can see who put their hours in and who really does this shit. And I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of people that was doing that. Like I said, I produce, engineer, I do all that myself. So, like, I pride myself in the fact that I put my hours in. I didn't just say it, I did it. Everything, to even right now, I manifested everything that I'm doing. I manifested everything. The position I'm in right now, as a kid, I talked about doing this shit. When I was in middle school, I used to get laughed at and made fun of. I was like, hey, I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be the biggest artist in the world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do shit that y'all ain't never seen. I used to get shit on all the time, laughed at. Those same people, when I got that fucking billboard, them same people was like, man, I knew that shit. I knew you was going to do this. I knew you was going to be great. You ain't no shit, bro. You wasn't there when I was down, when I was really putting in them hours in the gym. You didn't want to get in the gym with me. You just want to watch me. You know what I'm saying? And I did that shit. I failed a lot. The reason where I am now is because I failed, and I'm proud to say that, because I turned those L's into W's. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you got to view it. Every loss in my life that I've taken, whether it's music or personal, I've always turned that around, because there's only two kinds of people in this life, bro. It's people that go through negatives and they ponder and they stay stagnant in them negatives, and they stay there and they probably fuck up. They don't do nothing past that. And there's people like myself that go through negatives and turn it into a positive. It's a hard skill, but it's something that I really pride myself in, that I'm able to bounce back from anything. You know what I'm saying? And if you would have knew what happened in the past 3 months of my life, you would have been like, fuck, bro, I wouldn't even have known. But that's because I work my ass off, bro. I don't give up. My mama didn't raise me like that. I came from a hard-working household. My mom used to work 3 jobs to provide for my ass. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come from, I'm not going to sit here and act like I came from the slums, like I came from the ghetto, like I ain't had nothing. My mom sacrificed her ass off to make sure that I had food on the fucking table, to make sure that I had clothes on my back. My mom's the strongest woman I ever met in my fucking life. And I'm going to say that till I die. That's my best friend. I love her. You know what I'm saying? So I can't take none of this shit for granted. Like, I can't take none of it, because my mom didn't have the same opportunities that I had. So I have to go hard. You know what I'm saying? I had to give 210%. Because if I don't, I'm letting her down. And that's not what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? My mom sacrificed so much just for me to be here right now, to be alive in this moment, that moving forward, I'm going to continue to have that hunger, because it wasn't the same for her. You know what I'm saying? And that gives you perspective. You know what I'm saying? My dad sacrificed a lot for me. My parents sacrificed a lot. So to me, like, my mentality, I got to go harder than everybody else. I got so much more to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Now I want to ask you. I see you always got a team with you. What's the importance of having a team?
You got to have a team around you, man. Like, you got to be surrounded by people. It elevates just what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's that friendly competitiveness. My brother here, Daniel, 7, like, me and him was just locked in the studio. Like, he's the one that really gives me insight. Like, I play my music for all of these people right here. There's very few people that I play my music for and I trust their opinions. But these are people like Sage. I value people's opinion because I know that he knows what he's talking about. He know what he's doing. So I gotta be surrounded by like-minded people. Like, my dad always told me, you surround yourself with a bunch of pigeons, you're gonna fly like a pigeon. You surround yourself by a bunch of eagles, you're gonna fly like an eagle. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying that the people you hang around are gonna influence you and how you act. I don't hang around a bunch of bums. I don't hang around a bunch of people that ain't on shit. I hang around people that are trying to get shit done, that are here with me, that are going through it, that are striving. Even if it's not music, like that mentality. My brother's trying to be a firefighter. Like, cool, do that shit. Pursue what you want to do. I'm surrounded by people that want to do. They do what they want to do in life, and they're proud of it. And I continue to bounce that energy off myself, and I'm able to confide in, my cousin Eric, Sage, Daniel, Abram, 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, Benny. These are my people. These are my brothers. So, like, I'm just glad that I have a team around me, and it's my family. Like, this is all my family right here. Like, these are my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, Sage is a mentor to me, and I'm grateful that, you know what I'm saying, the energy he showed to me and what he's done for me just as, like an older brother to me. I've been the oldest out of everybody, so just having that guidance and just having that love and being embraced and the hospitality that I've seen from a lot of people and my family members here it's been something that I hold dear to me, and I got to make sure that my brothers are with me, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just a team, it's a tribe, it's a brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? It's family ties for life, you know what I'm saying? These are people that I do anything for, so it's extremely important to me that I have good people around me, because even Val, Neezy, like, those are good people.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. They work their ass off, and I respect what they do. Like, those are good people. I make sure I'm surrounded by good people that are really on something, because I'm not going to waste my time, and that's something I value the most is my time.
Man, look, well, before we get out of here, man, I just want to give you your flowers,
Thank you, sir.
Before, not why, it's too late, but, man, keep doing your thing. I'm extremely proud of you.
Bro, vice versa, just real quick, like, I would not be here if this man did not repost me for the free, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Gerald. Shout out my brother that really was spamming his ass to get me here. Like, all the opportunities that I have is because of Jay. So I'm grateful. Let me give your flowers real quick. Everything that you're doing, prior to me knowing about you, I ain't know. But now I'm locked in with you, bro. I respect you as a man. I respect you as a person. I fuck with what you got going on creatively. I wouldn't do this if I didn't. So it's like, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you for listening and giving your time to me, most importantly. And that's love, bro. I appreciate that.
I just got to ask, man, when you get famous, just give me 2 VIP passes, man. Let me ride Let me ride in the Sprinter van.
Say that. Bro. We got you there. You on the VIP.
All jokes aside, man, keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, brother.
I love to see the grind, man. I haven't seen no complaining, no pointing fingers. You know, it's just hard work, man. So.
Hey, man, you can't... I don't believe in spreading negative energy for no reason. Like I said, like, I'm not gonna blame nobody else for the reason where I am now. I'm gonna blame everything that I've done is because I worked my ass off to get here. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's done me bad, that's cool. It's all good. I'm gonna let them live their life. No malice towards them, but I'm gonna work 10 times harder and do what they can't. You know what I'm saying? So, I support San Antonio. I love seeing San Antonio winning. When the 2 is on top, that's the best. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to eat. If I don't fuck with you, it is what it is, because I'm not going to sit here and fake who I am. If I don't like your music, I don't like your music, bro. That's just that. I'm going to be real with you. But to the city, you know what I'm saying, to Texas in general, I'm here to represent and put on for the 2, so that's what it is for me.
All right, well, look, folks, this was episode 4 of Weekly Views with my man, LARON Brysson.
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all be on the lookout for this.
Yes, sir.